How many of us here like stories? Let me begin with one. An old man walked across a beach and he saw a young boy throwing something into the waves. He was curious and he went further. Upon closer inspection, the old man saw that the boy was tossing stranded starfish into the sandy beach, back from the ocean. "What are you doing, young man?" he asked. "If the starfish are still on the beach when the sun rises, they'll die," the boy answered. "That's ridiculous. There are thousands of miles of beach and millions of starfish. It doesn't matter how many you throw in. You can't make a difference," the old man said. "It matters to this one," the boy said as he threw another starfish into the waves. "And it matters to this one," and he threw another one into the ocean. Good evening, everybody. I'm Arpita Jairath, and no, I'm not a storyteller. I'm here to take you through tonight's event. And on behalf of iCONGO, I'd like to welcome all you beautiful people to the 8th Annual Karmaveer Puraskaar Award Ceremony, National Awards for Social Justice and Citizen Action. These awards are presented to all those who realize the importance of adding value to the lives of others, who believe in making a difference, who come together as one from India and all across the world to right every wrong. The capacity to care is what gives life its deepest meaning. These awards are presented to all those persons of significance who have given their time, effort, attention, energy, and taken up the responsibility of building a humane community, who have selflessly devoted themselves in the service of others. Individuals who have encouraged social justice with citizen action and through their continuous actions have also inspired other citizens globally to do the same. For the last 7 years, the Karmaveer Puraskaar Award ceremony were being held annually on the 26th of November, the day our constitutional pledge was adopted in the year 1949. We've always encouraged this day as the National Social Justice and Citizen Action Day. This year, however, we have the award ceremony today. That's the 27th of February, a day that marks the martyrdom of the brave Indian freedom fighter and revolutionary thinker, Chandrasekhar Azad. Azad, ladies and gentlemen, always stood for free thinking and was someone who questioned the status quo. The way I see it, all our award winners today have not limited themselves by today's times and have made the extra effort to improve the lives of people around them. I now request everybody in the house to kindly join in the auspicious ceremony of lighting the candle. I would like to invite Mr. Anurag Nirbhay, Ms. Amla Akini, Mr. Praveen Kumar, Wing Commander Roy Chaudhary, Ms. Vandana Shah, Ms. Anupam Kataria, Ms. Sushma Veer, Ms. Subha Rajan Tampi, Ms. Geeta Puri, Mr. Aubrey, Ms. Lorraine, Dr. Lenin, Mr. Yogesh Kochar, Mr. Manoj, Ms. Nidhi Arora, Mr. R. Ganeshan to please come up on the stage and join the ceremony. I would also like to invite Ms. Jyoti Nanda. I request all the guests to please stand up for the candle lighting ceremony. At the same time, I request Mehul to please come on the stage for the pledge.
I would now request all of you to kindly repeat the pledge after me. We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status, and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, ensuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November, 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
I will have to request all of you to please stand up again to observe a minute's silence for our chief patrons who helped us to launch this movement, Shri Vasant Sate and the late Shri L.M. Singhvi, who for the first time unraveled the Constitution and the essence of the Constitution in the year 2006 when we had our first conclave and awards. Over the years, we also lost a lot of other dear Karmaveers like Manju Bharatram and Mr. J.C. Sharma, who passed away a few days back. So, and Mr. Nelson Mandela, who wrote the foreword for our Karma Kari book. So let us observe a minute's silence for all our departed friends. Thank you. Please sit down. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for making the time to be with us today. This journey started for us a decade ago on the 26th of November 2004, when I first met with the few board members that we had put together and our founding chairman, Mr. Bobby Sister. And when we met at another board member's office in Bombay in Cuff Parade, whose name is Mr. Ashok Kanwar, we were discussing about how we need to create an organization that stands for certain values and takes certain stands, because we said that the slogan is going to be right every wrong. And how do we bring people together as one to right every wrong? And in that forum, I remember there was a proposal by the Director General of CII at that time, Mr. Srinivas, who had reached out to us and said, we will help incubate iCONGo. And our founding chair, Mr. Bobby Sister, was very, very thrilled about it. And in the board meeting, he said, Jerry, it's all taken care of. And I said, yes, I think it'll all be taken care of. We'll have an office, like you said, we'll have everything. And we'll be able to probably kind of set off on our mission. But I think we already lost the battle of righting every wrong if we accept the help for incubation. And nothing against CII. I respect the organization. And I respect people who work there. But I do have a fundamental problem with a lot of members of CII. And my question to Mr. Bobby Sister was that if CII incubates us, would we be able to right every wrong? Because our objectives are that on one side, we will stand up and speak out against wrongs that are happening in society. And on the other side, we'll bring together a force of heroes who are making a change in society. Mr. Bobby Sister said to me, he said, you have a point, Jerry, but then we won't have any support. I said, it doesn't matter, because we have a mission, we have a purpose, and we'll find our own footing. And we refuse, and I went there and met Mr. Srinivas. He used to stay in a place in Surabaya. I went and I had lunch with him, and I explained to him humbly why he did not accept the offer of support. For the simple reason, I told him that we will be speaking out against a lot of the organizations and companies who are members of CII. And proud to say that 10 years later, we are standing on our own footing without any financial support from any big corporates. We refuse a lot of support. And today we sit on the advisory board of CII, Meenu Chopra, my co-executive founding director, with the mandate that we will raise our voice still against any of the members who are there. So that is the power of one, and that is the power that we wanted to exercise. So that's the reason I put that over there. Two roads diverged in the wood, and we took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. We don't have any delusions that Meenu or I or Colonel Datta or a few of us can write anything. But we do believe that when that energy comes together, then together as one we can write everything. And we want to bring that energy together from several places. Not just from the so-called elite of society, right? Because it doesn't matter. It's 2%. 90% of people in India are dying of hunger. So how can we kind of harness energy over there? And if you read the Karmaveer book, you will see that poor villagers who never gone to school, have never gone to college, are making that difference in our world, which a lot of powerful people in the world are not making. Yes, powerful people are making a lot of money and creating a lot of wealth, but it is not creation of wealth for society, it is creation of wealth for themselves. While we have several people who are creating wealth for society overall. Right? I'm just, if the slide is there, don't worry about it. Yeah? And we want to bring all that energy together. And it's an egalitarian platform. And I remember again in the same meeting of 2004, 26/11, when I said that we're going to create an egalitarian platform where Dalits, sex workers, slum dwellers, princes, princesses, captains of industry, celebrities will come together and we'll have an award ceremony where there's no VIP. Because even if Ratan Tata is getting the award, he should be able and willing to take the award from a sex worker or a slum dweller. And at that time, a lot of eyebrows got raised because what is this guy talking about? But we said that's conviction. And proud to say that 10 years later, we are there. We have created that egalitarian platform where people from all walks of life come together. A Dalit leader called MC Raj received the award in 2010. We had the award ceremony in Dipalaya, in that school. And he wrote in his blog, he said, there were people who were Brahmins in the gathering who came and touched our feet and said, sir, you're doing great work. That's egalitarianism, right? So the purpose is not just an award or a trophy. The purpose is much more deeper. And it's not just this 3 days of a ceremony and a conclave, which is what it is. It takes us the whole year to find people and bring them here. Because it's very easy finding those eminent people who are making a change. But it's very, very difficult to find those unsung heroes, the not so eminent people who are really making a big difference in our society. And when you read some of the stories in the Karmaveer book, which has been co-authored along with Jyoti Nanda and support from Hunar Brar and Meenu Chopra and all my other volunteers who helped us to find those stories, you will read those stories. A vegetable vendor who sells vegetables on the street has built a hospital. A man who's never gone to school has converted an entire barren village, a drought-affected area, into a wetland in a country where wetlands are being converted into Buddh circuits. People get proud of places like the Buddh circuit, and I'm like, there's such good waste of agricultural land, right? And here is Lakshman Singh, who's never gone to school, he's never gone to any college. He's converted an entire village into an agricultural haven. And because of him and his community who go to other places today and teach people how to do that, there are over 500,000 families who get livelihood. I don't think any CEO in the world can claim that. No CEO in the world, I promise you that. I work with a lot of them, none of them can claim it. Right? So that's what the egalitarian platform is all about. Yes, we decided to create a platform which is a little different. And you saw that we start with the candles. And the reason to start with the candles was because we don't have any VIPs in our system. We don't invite any VIPs, we never have, we never will. And the reason to do that is because all of you are very important people for us. Each one of you is very important. It doesn't matter from where you come. It doesn't matter what your stature is. What matters to us is what is it that you do to make a difference in society, right? And that is what the ethos of Karmaveer is, and that's why we light those candles, because we want to take the pledge and not just have 3 people lighting a lamp and the rest of you watching them while they light the lamp. So that is what it is all about. You know, this is Dr. Varghese Kurian, who was our first Lifetime Achievement Award winner. And Dr. Varghese Kurian, I think, is the greatest Indian after Mahatma Gandhi. We have named an award after him, which is the Dr. Varghese Kurian One Vision to Make a Difference in Our World Award. We've been lobbying for the past 2 years, to get him the Bharat Ratna. But in this country, overnight, a decision is made to give Sachin Tendulkar the Bharat Ratna, but Dr. Kurian is far away from it, even though he's empowered millions of people to get their livelihood, which I don't think Sachin can claim to have done. So that is what Dr. Kurian is about. We take those stands. Yes, we take those stands. We take those rigid stands, and we are rigid about a few things. Yeah? And this is Dr. Kurian, who basically also said, around the time when he died, and when I spoke to Mrs. Moliko Kurian, when I called her to offer offer my condolences to her, she said that Dr. Kurian said that the most dear award to him, to his heart, was the Karmaveer, because you don't need to lobby for this, you don't need to rally for this. All you need to do is make a difference in society, and you can get this award. So we take it very seriously now because he's raised the bar. We need to live up to those values, we need to live up to that ethos. Our basic concept is inspiring citizen action for social justice. We don't believe in charity. We think charity is mindless and arrogant. It's like giving money to a child who's begging at one street and feeling that you've done your bit who you've forgotten at the next traffic light. And we say social justice. So what is social justice? Simply put, it is fairness for all, equality for all, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, gender, and God knows what else. Yeah? It is time for people to go beyond just giving money and thinking they have changed the world. Because you can't change the world by giving a little money to charities and kind of, talking about that in the cocktail circuit. That's why we want doers here. We want champions of change here, not just givers of a little donation. That's not our concept. Though we started the joy of giving, which has become a big movement now, we've kind of, said we move from joy of giving to right every wrong. Because joy of giving has become only about fundraising. And most of the funds are not creating any of the impact on the ground, because till people get involved in the process of change, there can be no change on the ground. Because Jerry or Minu or the few people cannot create that change. Change has to be created by each and every individual. Like I said before, there is no Mahatma or Anna coming to save us anymore, right? It's time for NGOs to act beyond just asking people for money and try to get them involved with the greater purpose. That was the other objective. That don't just ask for funds. Fundraising is not about money, honey. Yeah. So that's the joy of giving that we started. And over the years, several ideas have been incubated and kind of starting from iDishum, which was the first whistleblower portal, to hallabolo.com, which was about saying that citizens can blow the whistle with their mobile phone. A process which has now got adopted by the Aam Aadmi Party. So happy to say that it all got incubated here. Yes, we started the fight against corruption in 2008, much before anybody even thought about it, along with the UN. But we've been doing things silently. We started the fight for electoral reforms, and Vidya has been a part of that movement. Along with electoral reform experts from across the globe, we put an entire policy document together and very silently gave it to the Chief Election Commissioner, Dr. Qureshi, who set up a committee in that same week to look into those reforms, and some of those are now being implemented. But it's all been from behind. We've not done anything in the media glory, because that's not how change happens. Yeah? And happy to say that the electoral reforms process was begun with the patronage of two Chief Election Commissioners, Mr. James Michael Lingdo and Mr. Krishnamurthy. So huge work has happened in the REX platform and the Karmaveer platform. It's just that we've not tom-tommed about it, that you hear it here first. No, we've not done that, but it's time to tell the story probably. Yeah? So that's where we are. Our core objective is to create awareness about our fundamental duties. We feel that if people get aware of their fundamental duties and start practicing them, then change is possible. And the very concept of our fundamental duties is secularism and socialism. And socialism is not a bad word. I think the original meaning of socialism, the Marxist way, is social justice. Yeah? And that's where we come from, right? We also believe that a small group of thoughtful people could change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. And that's what Margaret Mead said, and it is a foundational belief. Yeah? That's the genesis. It started with an event which happened in the Taj, West End, Bangalore. And I said, hang on, something is not right here. Because everybody from the elite core, or the citizen elite, as Amarjit says, was there. But I didn't see anybody from the grassroots there. And then we had Prince Charles who was coming down, and we said that instead of doing a fundraising dinner in a 5-star hotel and squandering pots of money, let's do something small, and which we called as the Invisible Giants. And we actually awarded an auto rickshaw driver called Saddam Basha and a lady called Mogalamma from a very backward tribe. And we said, these are the invisible heroes who are making a big change. So Saddam Basha was actually he had given up plying his auto for 2 months and gone and lived in the camps of Gujarat. In the aftermath of the Gujarat pogrom, right? So that's where the genesis was, and that's how the Karmaveer came into being. Why Karmaveer Awards? Because the only cure for all social political evils is the creation and discovery of more and more people heroes. I can't do anything alone. I can't change. I don't know. I'm a perishable item.
I may make a lot of promises here today, but I may be dead tomorrow. So how can I make the change? The change can only happen when people decide that they can make that ideological difference. So that is where we come from again. That is the trophy. If you see, it's a very simple symbol of a human being kneeling down to light the candle. Yes, we need to reach down. We don't need to kind of just do it standing up. So that is the ethos, which is that with all humility, without any arrogance, we need to reach out, because when we do something good for society, it's not selfless. It's selfish, because your children and my children live in the same society. I have 2 sons, and they live in the same society. If I'm creating a society which is based on caste and religion and killing, then I'm creating a dangerous society for my children also. So where is the selflessness? It's all selfish. Yeah. In the first conclave, we started the Omega ratings, which was about creating NGO accountability. Happy to say that the process has got adopted by the Planning Commission. The second conclave, we started a fight for climate change. Third one is where we started the fight for electoral reforms, and in that year we had the No Criminals campaign, which kind of was promoted all over. And we've kind of gone on doing things. And last year we witnessed the launch of the 1 Billion Rising by Kaizad Kotwal, who's here and has been promoting 1 Billion Rising to address crimes against women. And Kaizad is today going to be given the Karmaveer Dr. Varghese Kurian Award for One Vision to Change the World. So that's a little about the past 7 years. We also did a very hard campaign in Goa, because I sincerely believe that Goa can be the microcosm for change. It's a very small place, and you can actually kind of experiment there and then replicate those experiments across India. And what we did is, we spoke very simply, very starkly. We went into public forums, we went into jazz concerts, and took on all the criminals who were in power at that time. And we called them Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. Yes, because that's what they were. All 40 in the cabinet were thieves, rapists, rascals, murderers, you name it, smugglers, and stark. And then we had a small press campaign. We spent less than 2.5 lakhs, but the people of Goa responded. And they got all those guys except 3 out of power, right? So we feel that this could be replicated in several other places. Some states like Bangalore is planning to do something similar. And the whole idea was reclaim people power. Yeah, and don't get swayed by booze and biryani and refrigerators and TVs, because this is not coming from their money, right? So this is what the whole idea is. Stop waiting for a hero. There's no hero coming to save us, because you can kill, harm, exile, imprison, destroy, defame a person, but not an idea. You can co-opt, corrupt a person, but not an idea. That becomes a collective movement and ideology. And that's exactly what I was talking about earlier, that the most populist leaders across the world, and history is evidence, this is not Jerry saying it, have become the most corrupt. You see it in India. Lalu Prasad Yadav started with huge ideology, most corrupt today. You see Mamta Banerjee, you see anybody, right? I'm sorry I take names, because you have to name him and shame him. I'm also very challenged when NGOs say that they are having an anti-corruption event, and then you call a corrupt minister to cut the ribbon. Right? Okay. So that's where we thought that we have to create a forum which stands on its own steam, right? It is a challenge, because I remember there's Dr. Tangsing Chinkulal over here, who was receiving the Nelson Mandela Award for his humanitarian work that he was doing with HIV from the South African Embassy. And he said, Jerry, you must come. And I said, sir, I would come. And I'm enjoying it that you're getting the award. But I have a problem with the person who's giving you the award, so I won't come. The person who was giving him the award, the chief guest, was Sheila Dikshit. Yeah, okay. so that's where it is. So that the idea that is developed and put into action is more important than an idea that exists only as an idea. Become a voice of the voiceless and for social justice and citizen action. That's what our mandate is. We want to build REX as a huge platform where people from any walk of life, a villager from Bihar, a sex worker from Kamatipura or Sonagachi, can come and voice how things have gone wrong for her because of bad governance, or how things have gone wrong because of lack of governance, right? And that's what the whole idea is. We want to make this into a very big platform and balloon it, and what we're looking at is in the 10th year of 2016, we want to go into a stadium like the Agra Stadium, into an indoor stadium, and we need support for that, because we want the stadium, if not free, to be available for us for a minimal cost, because the stadium, the auditorium itself costs a lot of money. right? So if there's anybody who can help us purely on merit, we don't want any jugaad. Yeah, we're against jugaad, right? So purely on merit of the idea, if there's somebody you can refer us to, we would be very grateful. Yeah. We started the Rex Karmaveer Global Fellowships last year, and the whole idea of the fellowships is to find real heroes who started on the process of change and bring them into the fold. There are a lot of people here who are fellows, and the idea came again because of Kaizad, who after doing 15 years of work for women rights, last year when I told him that we have chosen you for the Karmaveer Puraskaar in 2012, he said, Jerry, the honor is too huge, and I don't think I can live up to it. So let me at least launch 1 billion rising and, help to kind of fulfill that vision, and then maybe I'll be worthy of a Karmaveer Puraskaar. And that got me thinking that if Kaizad thinks that he's not worthy of it, then there must be so many other people who started who may not be feeling worthy of it. So let's start a fellowship where we can say that we are getting you in as an entry point. And we said when we choose those fellows because we know of their work, we'll also give them the Karmaveer Chakra award and say that you now entered the Karmaveer family and you can rise up the hierarchy. And so we've created 3 awards. The Karmaveer Chakra was instituted in partnership with the UN in 2008. And in 2008, for the first time, we awarded 2 Havaldars the Chakra for the work that they were doing to address trafficking, especially of children and women. And it's kind of gone on from there. And we're also creating a collaborative awards program with schools, colleges, companies, NGOs. So we can have a Shriram Karmaveer Chakra or a Saritsa Karmaveer Chakra or a, CII Karmaveer Chakra. The whole idea is to help us find heroes in your spaces who are doing extraordinary voluntary action. That's the whole idea. And then I told you about the hierarchy of awards: bronze, silver, gold, and then you have the Puraskaar, and you have the Jyoti, which is the award for erstwhile awardees who continue doing good work, right? So this is what Bernard Malamud said, that without heroes, we are all plain people and don't know how far we can go. We want to tell those stories of those heroes so that we can inspire more and more heroism, because only people can drive the change. That's why the Karma Yuga, this is what we are calling it, Karma Yuga. And for the first time, we've decided to accept some support from an organization which is called the APJ Trust. But we told them that, all you need to do is help us to put those volunteers in space who can go and create those partnerships to create the collaborative awards programs. So APJ Trust is going to be a partner. We have Control S, which is the IT company, which is based out of Hyderabad. They are Asia's biggest Tier 4 data server company. And Sridhar Reddy, who is an entrepreneur, is one of our past Karmaveer Puraskaar awardees. So when I told him that we need support because the original sponsor who was there backed out in our 3rd year when we were doing the conclave on electoral reforms. And I remember, I won't name the person because he did kind of support us, but this person called me from the UK and said, Jerry, don't do something on electoral reforms. And I said, why? And he said, this could go against us. And I said, against whom? Why would it go against us? We're talking about electoral reforms. And he said, no, but we are a company. And we kind of financing you, we are sponsoring you, but electoral reforms is a very touchy subject, don't do it. So I said, nobody dictates our editorial policy. We will do it. We are okay with letting go of the sponsorship. It was tough, but we sustained for 2 years, and then the 3rd year after that, Control S came to our rescue and said that whatever the costs are, part of it we will underwrite. So we have got some support like that, yeah. So that is the Chakra, which, like I told you, was instituted in partnership with Control S, VSO, and the UN. 2611, we are planning to do something in Goa where the whole idea is सारे जहाँ से अच्छा है नहीं, सारे जहाँ से अच्छा साथ मिलके बनाते हैं. And the pledge to take is that I change to change India. So we plan to get around a gathering of around 50,000 children, youngsters, and people into a stadium and help them to take the preamble pledge, which you just took, and also tell them what are our fundamental rights and fundamental duties. Because most people don't even know what their rights are, though they know at least that rights exist. But most people don't even know that duties exist. Because the duties probably came into the Constitution only in 1976, 42nd Amendment. So that's where we're going, because that's the only way to kind of change this country, right? Well, I've told you about the Karmaveer Puraskaar. There are several people who partnered with each other, who are supporting each other. There are several people who are even supporting people individually. I told you about Roktimda, who's getting support from a Karmaveer, who's kind of underwritten all his costs to fight prostate cancer. the person who's supporting him does not want to be named, but Raktamda is fighting a losing battle against cancer, and do include him in your prayers. So several people have partnered with each other. You have Meera Sanyal, who's taken the plunge. Happy to say that she decided to take the plunge to join politics in a Right Every Wrong and a Karmaveer forum in 2008 when the terror attack in Bombay happened, because she lost her mentor on that day. And she said, I am going to fight politics. And we support Meera Sanyal, even though she is a part of the Aam Aadmi Party. We are anti any party, Aam Aadmi ho ya Congress ho ya BJP ho, but we do believe that there are good people in all parties and we will support them. Yeah. The road ahead, we've just launched the journey, started the journey of the Karmakari books. Jyoti Nanda, who is my co-author, the books are available outside. 26 stories in the first book. We are signing a long-term contract with Jayco Publishing Company now to have a series of books. It'll probably be a landmark publishing deal. I've not yet spoken about it anyway. But as and when it happens, you will get to know about it. Yeah. So that's where Karmakari is going. The whole idea is to tell stories. A volunteer has come forward and said he'll help us to form Rotary-like chapters city-wise, and that's what we are calling iCAN. You can, I can, right? And iCAN would stand for the Citizen Action Network, yeah? So because it's all about citizen action, right? We decided that, we need to kind of build an endowment and ensure some sustainability. So what we did earlier, not earlier this year, but sometime in 2013, is we sent out an appeal to all our past awardees and said, help us to sustain our sanctity, help us to sustain our credibility, because others will be a losing battle. Either we'll close down or we'll end up taking sponsorships. And a lot of people have responded and have given us funds, and we are building an endowment with that to ensure sustainability of this program. Yeah, so that's where it is. And we are also kind of creating awards in the memory of people's loved ones as a part of our fundraising plan. I've taken this lesson from the Roman Catholic Church of the Vatican City, and the whole idea is that let people live for more years, and we'll name the award after them. And we've named an award after Mrs. Tanya Ray. It's an award for special children, because special children were dear to her heart. And an award after Mr. Savio Disa, who was an architect and an interior designer, and a very good friend of mine who passed away. In fact, I've dedicated my book also to him. And he used to work beautifully with laborers, with huge humility and respect for them, which is what I always noticed and appreciated. So that's where we are going. And that's about it. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. And like I said earlier, it takes a lot to put these awards together. It looks like 3 or 4 days, but it is not. It's a journey of an entire year. And it's not possible without all the support from the volunteers and from all of you. Especially would like to thank Meenu, who's been a pillar of support. Of course, my wife, who's been a pillar of support, Jugnu. Hunar Brar, who's been working with us, but has now kind of completed his MBA, wants to kind of pursue a career, but continues volunteering with us. We have Colonel Sanjeev Datta, who has joined us from this year. We have Sayantan Sinha, who is joining us. So that's the team. But we have a whole lot of support. We have Manoj here. Manoj, can you please stand up? From On Target. Manoj, see, he's always behind, right? They always lead from behind. And Manoj is volunteering pro bono, supporting us to help us go viral online. So a lot of support coming in. And if there's any way you can support, please feel free to reach out. We need all the support to make this bigger and bigger, right? Thank you so much, and enjoy the program.